Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to greet you. On this occasion, and in accordance with the didactic of English task, I will explain in a summarized form a lesson plan based on listening comprehension. Uh, this lesson plan is based on the Middle English syllabi, pre-A1 to B1 program, and in this case, I'm going to explain the development of the Unit 5. But not before giving you the details and the main activities of the lesson plan. So let's begin. Let me share my screen of the lesson plan in mention to start about this lesson plan. Okay, this lesson plan is prepared for an 9th grade in the institution Centro Escolar Francisco Gavidia, teacher name Levi Mejibar Salguero, me. And the content, as I told you before, is Unit 5. The topic, days of the week, simple present tense, affirmative and negative sentence. The competences are oral comprehension and oral production. Both are listening. Estimated time are 45 minutes and number of students are 20 students in the classroom, and their age are more or less 15 years old. So the unit's objective to recognize, letter A, to recognize and the use of the correct form of the verb to be in the days of the week. Letter B, to understand and practice vocabulary using the present simple related to days, reading and listening. Letter C, talk about daily activities using affirmatives and negatives with the days of the week. And this is focus on speaking. We have the concept contents, we have the grammar in context, the vocabulary, the useful expressions, and the procedure contents that are listening, speaking, and reading and writing, the 4 skills. But we are focusing in listening, and we have some achieve indicators. So we start with the process, and we're going to begin with the warm-up. To develop the warm-up, we need to spend 5 minutes, and we are going to play a game named Chance Roulette. So we are going to divide the classroom in 2 groups, and we will use a virtual tool in Worldwide called Roulette of Chance, where each group will say the activities they perform according to the day they select in the roulette. Remember that they have to spin the roulette, and according to the day that is selected in the roulette, they're going to share us what activities they develop in that day. One important point is that the activities cannot be repeated. So in this way, we can know a little of the activities that the student do during the week. So in this lesson plan, we have the link to access to the word wall and the roulette of chance. So as I told you, we have 5 minutes to develop this activity. Now we are going to the pre-listening activity, activity number 1, presentation. For this, we have 10 minutes, and the activity is the following. Goes like this. In the board, we are going to draw a vertical and a horizontal line to create 4 equal squares, and title each square with The first in the morning, the second in the afternoon, the third in the evening, and the fourth at night. So we have the different time of the day for doing activities. Have your student to copy the chart into their notebooks or into a sheet of paper. So next, your student are going to we have to prepare some flashcards with some activities. And in this case, our students are going to stick the daily routines flashcard into the board. And we have this example, take a random flashcard and show it to the class. And listen the word, for example, we have wake up and stick into in the morning, because as we know, every day we wake up in the morning. So we can put this flashcard into the section of our board in the morning and write, I wake up next to it. And have your student write, I wake up into the corresponding square in their chart that they draw in their notebook. Then have the different student to come up to you and select a card. All face down, fan it out like a card trick. Have them stick the cards into the board in the right section. And for more, if we have more advanced students, you can help them write each sentence. Otherwise, the teacher can write the sentence next to the cards. Each time have student copy into their charts and continue until all the cards are on the board with the sentence. Remember that this is putting on every activity corresponding in the part of the day that is developed. For example, if you take the flashcard that says have lunch, obviously is in the afternoon, yeah? Or dinner, for example, in the evening, sleeping at night. So this is what this activity try to put our student to practice and pre-listening activity. And they are also listen all the conversation when some student are interchanging all the information about. Okay, and after doing this pre-listening activity, we are going to while listening activity. And we call also practice. And for this activity, we spend 15 minutes. We're going to play also a game named Daily Routines Memory Game. And in this case, we're going to use affirmative. Affirmative. So remember that we have the chart. Okay. And take out the flashcard. Put the student in pairs and get them to swap chart. Students are going to test each other on the times they do things. Make sure your model with two students first. Yeah, because we can make it with a group, but to understand better this activity, we can start with two students. Okay, select student A and student B. Okay, student A select a sentence on student B's worksheet. For him, for example, I do homework at 6 o'clock. She or he, the other student, does the action of doing homework. For example, writing in an imaginary notebook, or if they have a notebook, can make as they are writing something on it. So trying to describe what is in the worksheet writing. Okay, and the student B must guess the action and say the exact sentence on their chart. For example, I do homework at 6 o'clock in the evening. Remember that I do homework is an affirmative tense. 6 o'clock in the evening, we are talking about time. Evening too. Then it is a student's B's turn to select a sentence and do the action. Pairs keep going until they have done all the sentences on their charts. Make sure the student don't allow their partner to get away with mistakes. This is important. If they get the time wrong, make them guess again. This is the part of the why listening activity. And as I mentioned, we're going to spend 15 minutes. This is important because we are developing a lesson plan that lasts only 45 minutes. Okay, now we continue with the post-listening activity, production, and we are going to spend 10 minutes. And this is a little more simple, but it's important because we are going to put in practice. Let's end with a nice story that reinforces the vocabulary and the structure of the lesson. To do this, we are going to read a short story or a tale, whatever. And as you read each page, point the pictures, elicit each routine action, elicit the time of the clocks and the time of the day, and ask your student if they don't do those things at the time or time of the day. For example, we have here a conversation, okay, reading the book. Teacher asks, what time is it? And a student answer 8 o'clock. Teacher asks, yes, 8 o'clock in the evening. A student replies, no, in the morning. Teacher says again, and what does your father do at 8 o'clock in the morning? A student says, go to work. He goes to work. Okay, and teacher says, yes, and you name a student. It could be any student. What do you do at 8 o'clock in the morning? In this case, Hugo says, no, I don't go to work. I got to study. And teacher asks another student, in this case, Peter, what does he do or you do at 12 noon or afternoon? And the student says, I have lunch. Teacher asks, that's right. And what does he do or what do you do after that? And the student says, he takes a nap or I takes a nap, brush his teeth, etc. The important here is try to practice with all the classroom, with all the students, to participate between the question and answers, to make a well, where the student participates in this development of the lesson plan. Remember, get the student involved in the story by asking them lots of questions. That's what I said before, and having them tell you about their daily routines. After reading the story or the conversation, the tale, hand out and reading sheet to each student and read the story one more time without stopping to ask questions. This is very important. While a student fill in the missing verbs and write the tenses, then go over the answers in class. For ending this lesson plan, we have a wrap up. And we are going to spend 5 minutes for this activity. And we are going to ask the student to choose a day of the week by majority. And according to their choice, to make a list of activities they do on that specific day, so that in the next class, they can share that experience with their classmates. So we have a product here. What are the achieving indicators? I'm going to read it fast because of the time. Number one, we can understand a number of familiar words and recognize case information such as the clock times and days, provided speech is delivered very slowly with repetition if necessary. Number two, can recognize words, names, and numbers that she already knows in simple short recording, provided that they are delivered by very slow and clearly. And the evaluation, the diagnostic, with the warm-up, evaluate and estimate the number of activities a student doing now. Also by making the practice of the daily routine and activities pronunciation, determine how much they know about the topic. We're going to need some materials. We need printables, digital tools, tailor the story, and others. In printables, we need Day of the Week Scramble worksheet, Day of the Week Order worksheet, Reader worksheet. Digital tools, Wordwell, as we mentioned in the warm-up, the link is included, and detail or story, a short story for wrap-up. And others like a calendar, projector, laptop, speaker, and color crayons. So this is what we are going to use to develop this lesson plan. Remember that this is a summarized lesson plan explaining about the competences in this case. Despite we have the four skills, we are focusing in listening. We need the student listen, speak, listen, but the focus is listening. So this is my explanation about this task. Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.